Hey guys, this is Jeff on the Entrefied podcast tonight. If you're not familiar with our website, what we do is we interview guests on our show, and we have professionals, authors, we have business owners, we have people that help businesses grow their business. I recently had a person on the show. His name was Simon, and what he done is he said that he would double somebody's income in 90 days for service businesses. Very interesting people that's on the show, and he had a lot of good tools. Check him out. He's in one of our podcast episodes. Actually, let's see here. I'm on the website right now. Let me look. Let me see here. He looks like he is ENT 166. So he's episode 166. You may want to check him out. Very interesting guy. So getting to the point today, guys, Entrefied.com means entering into your success. We look for personal success and professional success for you guys. So we interview a lot of people, look for those tips, tricks, and things like that. So you can check out our website by going to Entrefied, which is www.entrefied.com. Join our newsletter, and you get a lot of great stuff. You get our PAR workbook. I don't want to go into a lot of that. There's a lot of great things on our website, but I want to get to the point today, guys. The point is I wanted to talk about something that one of our articles on our website. And like I said, when you join the free newsletter, you get a lot of great stuff. And some of this stuff you'll get links to simply by joining the free newsletter. You'll get notifications of posts on the website, transcripts, probably, and special content. You also get our workbook. So get a hold of that. But being honest with people is what I wanted to talk about today. You know, so many people nowadays think honesty is not important. It is. Long-term business, it is important. But more than that, it's just the right thing to do, right? So for the people out there that's always looking for that edge, the edge sometimes is a whole lot of hard work, guys. You know, I've had several different businesses. I've been successful in a lot of different ventures that I've had. But most everything requires a lot of work. It just does. I have had, you know, one business I'm thinking about in particular where, you know, I had a lot of, you know, cash coming in, you know, and it wasn't a lot of things that I had to do for it. But there was a huge demand on my time when I first started it. And that's what you run into there's like an onboarding period where you're spending hours and hours and hours, and sometimes you're up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out what you need to do next, you know, or a problem you need to deal with. But that's one business I'm thinking about, and I actually I'm going to go ahead and tell this story since I'm already here. I actually went to the bank one time, and this person had seen, you know, a check, and they was like, you know, well, I need to start doing that, you know. And I thought to myself, you don't know what it takes probably to get here. Not that it's some special knowledge that they don't know. It's the thing that there's so much work that goes into it that people don't never see. And, you know, they think everything just comes easy, especially things that come easy for people. I say come easy for people that other people look at and they thought, oh, they got it. Look at that. They got that set up just right. And I'm not saying I'm one of those people. I'm not meaning like that, but there's certain people that look at other people and are thinking, oh, they just had it easy. You don't know somebody's road until you've walked in their shoes. You really don't. And there's things I'm sure that you just don't know, that you haven't seen. And there's things they had to do to get there. And sometimes it involves a lot of hard work. But being honest is one of the things I wanted to talk about today. I hope I didn't get too far off the road with you guys. But being honest with everyone is hard sometimes because you may be afraid to do that. It will hurt their feelings sometimes, and sometimes it will. What I'm talking about more than this is when you need to address a situation. You know, sometimes the best thing to do is to confront a person calmly and tell them what you need without all the emotions. You know, logically deal with life situations. You know, so many times we blow things out of proportion, start dealing out of emotion. You know, somebody comes to you and tells you the truth, and you're getting offended about it. Well, they shouldn't have come to me. They shouldn't have done that. We should be grown up enough sometimes to be able to accept the truth in certain areas. I'm not saying we can do it in everything, because I mean we do have feelings. We are emotional creatures. Humans are. But in the end, if somebody's coming to you and they're telling you the truth on something, and everything just seems like, oh, you're just mad at everybody, you know, the problem may be that you need to deal with some stuff. You know, it could be in my life. You know, if you're teachable, you can learn. It's the people that are not teachable that's the problem. And if you don't know that, you first have to identify the problem. You first have to figure that out. So tell them what you have on your mind without all the words. Get straight to the point. I'm finding the longer I live, that's one of the best things that you can do is be straight to the point with people and be real, be honest. I'm not saying go out and intentionally try to hurt somebody's feelings, but what I'm saying is when it's just him haul around and all this, or you can just come tell somebody straight. You know, tell them the truth. If you're honest and you're always trying to do the right thing and you're straight to the point, sometimes you'll get more respect than dancing around the thing. But be honest in business and your personal life. It just makes sense. Not because it's some kind of advantageous trait or advantageous habit that you have. It's just the right thing to do. Long term, it'll benefit you long term. You know, I heard this story one time. I was watching this TV show, and this person was confronting this other person. They saying, "Look, you know, your wife will never know about this. You know, they'll never find out." And so, what's the problem? And the person said, "I don't know." You know, that's what integrity is, guys. It's looking at it through the lens of I don't know. And that makes a difference. And I hope you guys have a moral thread, because I'm going to be honest with you. Everything you accomplish in this life goes away. It does. It makes no difference what you accomplish. It's going to go away. I'm not saying it don't make no difference in your life. Your happiness obviously matters. You know, I believe Solomon said this: enjoy the fruit of your labor because it is your substance. Let me say that again. I got a little bit tongue-tied, twisted, and backed up on that. I believe Solomon said something like this: enjoy the fruit of your labor, for it is your substance. And that's paraphrasing on both of those a little bit, but that is some of our substance. It is our substance. You know, fear God, keep his commandments, and enjoy your life where you can. But be honest. And that means when you come to the end of the road and you've been honest, you're going to have something to stand on. You come to the end of your life and you've been deceitful and you've cheated people and you haven't been honest with people all your life. Yeah, you may have a lot of monetary stuff. It's going to go away. And then you're going to be left with nothing. You know, I heard one saying one time. It says, when you get old, if you have people that love you, you're rich. But if you get old and you don't have nobody, you don't have nothing because you've cheated everybody and because you've done wrong. I'm adding to that a little bit. But my point is, if you constantly do wrong to people, believe me, it's going to find you out. It's going to find you out. Turn your ways, make it right. But you may even address some of the concerns that you have with a person. Talking about situations, guys, where you're dealing with them. You're like, okay, look, I got this situation. I got to confront this person. How do I do it? Number one, you become logical about what you need to do. It's not personal. It ain't about whether you like the person or not. You like them, that's great. If you don't, that's, you know, it is what it is. But can you deal with it on a logical perspective and say, look, this is some of the issues I have, and just be straight with them. Some of the hardest things in life, if you just come at it from a straightforward point and say it in not so many words, here it is, and it's out there. It's easier to deal with than him all around about it, back and forth. But anyway, moving on a little bit, show respect where you should. Listen to people. Listen to them. You might not be right. Listen to them. Hear people's concern and listen. Keep things logical. When people are trying to wallow, it's time to tell them to get real and look at reality. Start getting back to the facts, not just emotions, but stuff that is logical too. I mean, it's not all emotional, guys. We have to have empathy. You know, it's smart to have empathy, and it's also just the best thing to have empathy sometimes. But some people get off in the woods, they'll tell you all about their life, they'll tell you all about this, and you've got bad things in your life, you know, and it's all this other stuff, and it's kind of like we're feeding off one another. And sometimes we need to vent, I get it. But when you get to the point where somebody's telling you, you need to get them to the point, is you listen to them, because believe me, people know if you don't listen to them. They know if you're genuine or not. You can even be not saying anything. They know if you're genuine or not. Doesn't mean you're listening. Just means you're not talking right now. But when you hear what people say and you make time for people notice, and they know who really cares and who doesn't. Anyway, moving on. Listen to people. Just listen to them. And sometimes when they get off in the weeds, you say, well, now let's think about this like this, and start pointing things back to the facts and be real. Sometimes when you get so off in the weeds, sometimes the best thing to do, like I said, is tell them the facts. You say, well, how do you do that? Well, let's say, for instance, somebody's dealing with something and they get off and they're talking about something else. You say, well, I noticed this over here, that happened. This is one of the things that I want to address, and make it factual, not based on opinion. It's a fact, because it's hard to argue facts. It really is, because you're arguing against yourself sometimes, because a fact is a fact, right? Anyway, moving on, guys. I hope you're getting something from this, or getting something from that. With the people you care about, try your best to come from a place of love. You're always better off to come from a place of love. I need to move on, guys. I know I'm taking some time tonight on these and kind of slowing down a little bit, but come from a place of love. Be honest with people, but try to get straight to the point and then listen. Say what you've got to say and then listen to what people say. Sometimes when you let people go on, things don't get better. The people generally get worse. You have to know what matters and what doesn't. If something needs to be addressed, sometimes it's better not to put it off. Just come to somebody and just tell them, look, hey, this is the issue. Here's another thing to consider. People have their own ways of doing things. They're not always going to do it your way. It's amazing to me how people will say, well, now you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. And then I'll say, you do it your way. It's very interesting, because really what they're saying is, do it your way as long as it matches up with what I want you to do. Sometimes that's the way it is. And people are like that. I'm sure I'm like that sometimes too. But you have to learn that other people, they're not like you. They're not going to be exactly like you. We all have differences, and we have to learn with people's differences, and we just have to accept certain things, and that people are who they are. And maybe you grow closer to that person, maybe you don't grow close to that person. But you have to learn to let them have a little leeway, have a little time to do their own thing. Even with kids, when you're raising kids, it's not easy. It's not easy. They don't always do the right thing. If you're watching this today and you got kids, you know what I'm talking about more than likely. We have to give them a little room to grow, to figure out things. One of the best things I've heard is, I believe the Bible talks about this. I don't know if this is the right understanding on this verse, but it says, and I'm paraphrasing. Wow, I just forgot my thought on that. But basically it says this is talking about trusting, in people, trusting in people that you love. I think it was talking about your kids. I was trying to remember that verse. I was trying to remember the exact verse in the Bible that talks about that. I'm probably off on this, but there is a verse in the Bible that I thought was talking about that, and it was talking about, blessed is the people that put their love and, and faith in them and trust them. Just love them. You get them up to a point, you raise them to the point that you can, and you love them. And you just tell them, look, I trust you. Sometimes people work harder for you when you put that kind of love and trust and honesty in a relationship than if you're constantly just trying to figure out what they're doing. They're going to do things the way they want to do anyway after they're raised to a certain point. You have to accept certain people where they're at. If you're ever going to be there to support them and love them and be a positive factor in their life, you have to get to that point. Guys, I hope you've got something from this today. It seemed like I went on and on about this one. Sometimes it's a little bit faster paced than what it has been tonight, but I hope you've got something from it. And I hope you realize that sometimes we just need to give people room, but we always need to be honest. We always need to be logical. Don't get to the point that you're putting things off because you care about somebody. You better be doing the right thing, because long term you're going to have to deal with it anyway. Guys, I hope you got something from this. Go to our website, entrefied.com, and you can join our free newsletter. If you're watching the screen and you got video instead of audio, we have the audio podcast too. You're probably watching a YouTube video if you're seeing it on the screen, which is fine. But you'll see here down our page, You can see, join our free newsletter, get that. We got a lot of articles on the website too. You can click on that. But we've got, I don't know how many transcripts. I mean, it's like, oh man, 160 something possibly, or 150, podcast transcripts, and we got a lot of different notes. I'd encourage you to get into that. The transcripts, sometimes the software, it doesn't get it 100%, but we try to highlight the points. We have, like I said, hot podcast notes. I was looking at this, and I said hot minute news. Patrick's doing that here lately, where he's talking about things that's going on there. Guys, I don't want to waste your time. I hope you got a great deal from this. You can leave some comments down here on some of our articles if you want. You can listen to some of the podcasts. You can go on and listen on your phone through podcast players, whether you've got an Android phone or whether you've got an iPhone, whatever you've got, you can get hooked up through our podcast and listen there too. But just some of them are on the website. We don't have all our podcasts on the website. We got several on the website, but we don't have every one of them. If you want to hear all of them, you'll have to go on and download our like a podcast player, and you can pull up Entrified. Guys, and we have, like I said, before I go though, we have a lot of guests on our show, and you can listen to them. If you want to be a guest on the show, check this out. You can go down here and we interview leaders and business owners. And if you're interested, please submit this form. So click that. We're in 37 different countries, I think, now. So click, it says 36, but I think it's actually 37 now. Guys, again, I appreciate you watching. You can watch other podcasts that we have and YouTube videos, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.